With power cuts and load shedding, along with dwindling water supplies, a harsh reality in South Africa, being more self-sufficient on the home front is becoming an increasingly attractive option. Jane Troughton is someone who has never looked back since opting to go this way. So Jane, your home just feels so beautiful, as if you're really in nature and one with the environment. Everything that you've got here just kind of links together. You've got natural pools, is that correct?
That's correct, yep. We've got tilapia fish in here. They have a very important role to play. They eat the mozzie larvae firstly, and they provide the nutrition for my really incredible vertical garden. So their waste is what feeds the wall. And there's a pipe underneath here which draws the water up, and for 4 minutes a day, 2 in the morning and 2 at lunchtime, we irrigate and feed, and that's all it takes. So it's not a very thirsty process at all, and we have this extraordinary, beautiful result.
And it just seems like there's so much life coming out of that wall.
This whole area, the water, you put water in a garden and instantly you have wildlife. So it starts with the insects, you can see them all over the surface, little frogs, the woolly neck storks are almost daily visitors, hammerkops, kingfishers love hunting around here, and yeah, little mannequins. I mean, this side and the other side you'll see later. It's just bursting with life.
Well, I'm very excited to see the rest of it. So shall we go in? Your home is just so full of artwork, and even in your bathroom here, the mosaics are stunning. Where did they come from?
8 years ago, I went on a mosaic course, and I discovered my inner artist. And ever since then, I've had a real passion for this form of art. I can't paint or draw, but I find this incredibly therapeutic and my own personal meditation, and I just get lost.
This one is just so incredible because you've actually incorporated, for me, crystals is a gift from nature. And so you've incorporated nature into your artwork.
Absolutely. And I've got one on the veranda which has got tiger's eye, and it's a lot in shells and different mixed media. So I like to play with different materials in the process.
This is interesting.
Yes.
Because to have a window at floor level. Now tell me, what is the benefit of that?
Yeah. When we started planning this house, and we were remodeling an old 40s house, we knew that passive design needed to be part of our consideration in terms of being eco-friendly. And in Durban, you don't want to use air conditioners if you want to be green. So we had to think really hard about how would we get cool air in. So the cool water gets drawn over the pond. It goes straight up through this double-story space, and the whirly-birds draw the hot air out. The other thing that we've done is all the bedrooms have windows on both sides to get cross-ventilation, and it works brilliantly.
Fantastic. So you have no aircons in this home?
And we don't intend to.
And you're cool.
Yeah.
And you're cool.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
awesome. Let's go upstairs. I can see all your nice artwork as well. I mean, it's just fantastic. I'm getting like just relaxation, just totally. It's the space and it's the nature.
It is. We really wanted every aspect of the house to draw the nature in. And I think we've achieved that, because wherever we sit or relax, we look at green, we look at birds, we look at butterflies, we can hear the wildlife. It's noisy here. We love it. This space is very indulgent. It's very special. I think for a lot of people it's a dream bathroom, whether or not you're interested in green. And in fact, that is one of the things that I'm hoping to share with people with writing my blog and sharing this journey, is that green is not an aesthetic. It's not a building look. It's your house can look any way you want it to. This is a beautiful contemporary home that also happens to be green. This is a beautiful bathroom that is very green, but it's just a very beautiful bathroom. And sitting in this bath or using the outside shower with the backdrop of the green and the front drop of the green is really very, very special.
Well, the way I'm feeling right now is I want to jump into this bath right now and just relax in here, and this is just fantastic. Do you ever use the inside shower when you've got an outside shower?
Absolutely not. No, yeah. Even on the rainiest, windiest days, we use the outside shower. It's really fun. And while we're here, Kerry, this screen that you see in the bathroom is not just a decorative thing. With the new building regulations, if you want a lot of glass in your home, you have to jump through hurdles. So there are lots of calculations that are done because people have to show that they're not going to be using a lot of energy. So first of all, we had the solar energy, which gave us a big tick, but this also provides additional screening because this is our north-facing side.
So Jane, as I'm exploring this garden of yours,
Yep.
I'm obviously having a look at, you've got a skylight here, so that helps in the lounge area. And then you've got your solar.
Yes, indeed.
Which is fantastic to see on a home in a residential area.
Yes.
So how many panels do you have up there and how does it work?
We've got 20 panels. That, with the battery system that we've got in place and the inverters, which are in a special cupboard that lives outside, basically supplies all our needs. So the way it works is that we are still grid tied, and the reason we have decided to go that route rather than be completely off the grid is because we've signed a power purchase agreement with eThekwini. We're in a pilot project, which means that when the systems are in place, we will be remunerated for the excess. And I see that little timer turning backwards a lot, so I know that we are already feeding an enormous amount back into the grid. And what's going to be really exciting about that is that it's going to motivate a lot more people to look at solar, because it really mitigates the startup cost. Owl house waiting for occupancy.
Oh yes.
Here are the owls in the area, so we're hoping perhaps by next breeding season they'll move in, and we positioned that exactly so that we can lie in bed with the binos and watch everything that's going on. This little tiny pond is extraordinary. Every morning there is a series of birds that come to drink and swim and entertain us. We feel incredibly privileged. It's an absolute joy.
So you're waking up each morning in nature,
Yes.
and that must be just a wonderful way to start your day.
Yes. The birds wake us up. You can see we've got no curtains, and that's intentional. So we like to wake up with the sun.
Jane, we're coming into this huge, lovely open space of lovely family living. And I can see your kitchen is kitted out with a lot of energy-saving products.
Indeed. There's a lot of green aspects to this kitchen. But again, Kerry, just to emphasise that it is still a beautiful contemporary kitchen. So those extras are my choice. And people don't necessarily know that they don't cost more. My counter surface is 60% recycled material. As you've mentioned, all the appliances are energy efficient. I cooked on gas for years because I love to cook, but I'm converted to induction. This is really a pleasure to cook on and so easy to clean. So that's an absolute pleasure. So my kitchen is, I think it's a dream kitchen. It's the heart of the home. I know it's a cliche, but truly when we've got friends and family around, I'm prepping here, I'm in the space, I've got my beautiful garden right in my lounge. As I'm cutting, I'm scraping my peelings into my worm container for the worm farms. My recycling bins are all organised over here. So yeah, we've got our recycling efficiently planned, and then the worm farms are just behind that screen outside the kitchen, which is made of recycled plastic too. So it works really well. It's got a nice flow.
It's got a lovely flow, and like you said, you're right here with the family all the time, which I think is really important.
And bamboo, which is what the cabinets are made of, is obviously a very sustainable product. And it's beautiful. I think it's really beautiful.
And now you have a fantastic veggie garden that we're going to go and visit. But before we get there, what is under this paving? Okay,
so in terms of technology, obviously solar is really important, but water is the next big thing on the agenda. And we, you know, globally we have a water crisis, and South Africans need to be thinking very carefully about water usage. So we decided to go large. We have got a 20,000 litre tank under the grass here. And it's a fantastic system that's built with interlocking plastic blocks so that the water aerates, and then we pump everything back into the house, and then we recycle the water again, and they go through grey water units for us to water the garden. So we're actually using our water twice. So
the water from the tank goes straight into the garden.
Back into the house.
But it goes in, oh, I see. That goes into the house first.
It comes off the roof and the roof garden, goes back into the house, where it's used everywhere.
So do you even use it for your showers?
For our showers and for our drinking water, we just filter it a third time because this system filters the water twice. So for drinking, we just filter it one more time, which is all we need. And it's perfectly beautiful water. Yeah.
Excellent. And then once it's used in the home, it goes back into the garden?
Yes, through the shower water, the washing machine water goes to water the garden. through little units that are very inexpensive. So if people are saying, where can I start with green? I don't have a lot of budget, but I am concerned about water. I would suggest start with grey water recycling. Easy to do and not terribly expensive.
Excellent. So now I'm down to see your garden.
Yes.
So Jane, we're coming down to your vegetable patch or your nursery. This is your love, this is your passion.
Absolutely. In our previous home, I had already started growing food and realised how important it is and wanted to go larger. So this space used to be the old outbuilding. I've inherited this amazing lemon tree which just produces all year round. We do live alongside vervet monkeys. And as much as we love them, they do tend to be fairly destructive. So we've built this cage to keep them out. And they can share the pawpaws and the various other things that are around the garden, and obviously the fruit from the indigenous trees. So I've built these veggie boxes out of recycled plastic because they're going to last forever. And it just makes life a little easier on the gardening. My husband built those wonderful compost bays.
So Jane, we're walking to another beautiful part of your garden. This is your indigenous space, is it?
Indeed, yes. Kerry, I've been indigenous gardening for about 20 years. And I started off because I thought it was a nice lazy way of gardening. And I had no idea what journey I was embarking on, the joy that gardening in this way brings. You start with the plants, you get the insects, you get the birds, you get the reptiles. You are living alongside nature. So it was really important for me to work within the space by creating as much diversity as possible. You know, our wildlife, the areas for them to live in, their habitats are shrinking at a massive rate. And I think if every urban garden could provide some food or a place to nest or rest, we could do our part. I can't tell you the joy that we get from the wildlife in this garden. We're about to go down what we call the chameleon path, because we have dwarf chameleons in this garden, which is a incredible, exciting thing, and it really very much a sign of the health of a good ecosystem, because they are incredibly vulnerable, terribly threatened. Can you hear the hawks? This goes on all day long. There's this constant fight between the harrier hawks and the sparrow hawks. And we've got a hardy-dar nest up in this huge fig, and they keep sadly stealing the babies out of it. But that is life, you know, and this is all going on every day. This fight for survival, this foraging and feeding and breeding. And this is also the perfect spot for our beehive.
Oh, fantastic. You've thought of everything. I actually can't think of anything that you haven't thought of. You've got, like you said, your chameleons and your reptiles. You've got your bees. So it's just, you've thought of everything.
Well, Kerry, you know, bees globally are terribly threatened. They're collapsing in alarming numbers. Some people are even saying that when the bees in the rural areas are gone because of over-agric farming, they'll be coming to the urban beekeepers to help repopulate the planet. So, yeah, eThekwini have said they are giving permits and permission. We can have bees in our gardens, and they are such fun. And obviously the honey is a wonderful harvest. So this part of the garden is very wild, and it's for the sparrows, and we don't go there and we just leave it be.
Just so many little places that you can actually get so much joy out of.
Well, I wanted to have little rooms or little meandering walks, and I've taken my inspiration in the planting from what's on our doorstep. So I've gone into the Virginia bush and Burnham bush, and I know what grows naturally and locally, and I've kind of just maybe enhanced it a little bit, made sure there's no weeds in here, and really tried to pump up the diversity. So there's a lot of different food to draw different species. You know, certain butterflies will only breed on particular plants, so I've been learning that as well.
So Jane, we're coming to your incredible natural pool. Can you explain how it all works?
I would love to, Kerry, because there are so many misconceptions about how complicated a natural pool is. My research has shown me that there are really just a few things that you need to bear in mind. The first thing is that you need your planting area, the planting surface area, to be minimum 50% the size of your swimming area. Now, this can be integrated or next to, alongside your swimming area like I've done if you want, but it doesn't have to be. It could be around the corner. The planted area is simply your filtration system. So that's number one, your plants, and make sure that you obviously plant locally indigenous plants because they're going to thrive the best. Second of all, you need aeration. So you can do it any way you want to. I've chosen to do these little cascading waterfalls, which are brilliant because what we didn't know was that the birds use them as bird baths. So the mannequins are in here in their dozens every day, having lots of fun, and we enjoy them as much. So yeah, your plants are really important. There's 3 types of plants you need to be looking at. We have what we call your floaters. So you need things that are under the water that float in and amongst. And then you need your surface floaters, like your water lilies. And then you need lots of these reed type things. And they're all providing different types of cleaning and filtration to your pool. Bear in mind also, all these plants need sun, so don't stick your reed bed in the shade. And so it's really not rocket science. Otherwise, it's a normal filter system, and we have a creepy crawly that cleans the bottom of the swimming area. It's separate, and we haven't been in the house in summer yet, but we are really, the kids have had swims already.
Is that a different colour marblite at the bottom?
It's black.
It's black,
Yeah.
okay. So
Once again, more natural, it's going to be warmer.
but absolutely no chemicals at all.
Not a single chemical. We've got fish in here, we've got crabs, we've got shrimps.
In this section.
And
then you've got
the
your
birds
pool.
are absolutely in love with this area of the garden.
That's
As are we.
fantastic. That's really fantastic. Just one thing I've noticed, you've got big windows and no burglar guards anywhere.
Well, so we have little see-through burglar bars,
Okay.
but the sliding doors, no.
Okay, because I'm thinking you're living in a big city as well.
Yes.
But you don't have electric fences and...
We've boundary planted with spiky, thorny things, which we think are a better barrier than a hard wall. We do have beams in the garden. We don't live in cloud cuckoo land. We have beams in the garden, and we do have a decent system in the house. And we feel very comfortable and safe here.
It's just an open living,
Yeah.
so you
Yeah.
feel free.
Yeah.